First, the enigmatic Lion Eljanson, Primarch of the First Legion, the Dark Angels. Discovered on the feral, beast-haunted death world of Caliban, the lion grew up in isolation, mastering the dangerous wilderness with a primal cunning. He became a silent master of strategy, a tactical genius second to none, and an unparalleled duelist whose skills were almost supernatural. Known for his stoic nature, deep secrets, and fierce independence, his legion, clad in grim black and green, perfectly mirrored his mysterious ways. They are forever haunted by the fallen, traitors from their own ranks during the heresy, whom they tirelessly hunt. After centuries in a death-like slumber within the rock, his legion's fortress monastery, the lion has astonishingly returned to the Imperium in 42M, awakening to a dying galaxy he barely recognizes, now a grim guardian against the encroaching darkness. Next, Fulgrim, the Phoenician, Primarch of the Emperor's Children. Found on Chemos, a world that scraped by through efficient recycling and the pursuit of artistic perfection amidst scarcity, Fulgrim quickly became obsessed with absolute perfection in all forms, whether it was art, music, diplomacy, or the precise balletic violence of warfare. His legion sought to emulate his flawless beauty and martial grace, initially striving for perfection in the Emperor's name. However, this relentless pursuit of absolute beauty and his immense vanity made him tragically susceptible to the insidious whispers of Slanesh, the chaos god of excess. He ultimately fell, orchestrating the murder of his brother Pharasmanes and undergoing a horrifying transformation into a grotesque, serpentine demon prince, now a living embodiment of depravity, twisted artistry, and endless self-indulgence. Then there's Perturabo, the Lord of Iron, Primarch of the Iron Warriors. Discovered on Olympia, a world ruled by a harsh intellectual tyranny, Perturabo was a tactical genius, an unparalleled engineer, and a master of siege warfare capable of dissecting and destroying any fortification. He could build impregnable defenses and dismantle them with equal, ruthless efficiency. Yet he felt perpetually underappreciated, used as a tool for the most brutal and thankless tasks by the Emperor and his brothers. This profound bitterness, combined with his pragmatic nihilism and a deep-seated resentment, made him an easy target for chaos. He ultimately sided with Horus, becoming a brutal, methodical demon prince of chaos undivided, forever perfecting his vast hellish fortresses of despair within the Eye of Terror, continuing his endless, destructive craft. The Stormseer, the Great Khan, Jagatai Khan of the White Scars. Raised on the nomadic, windswept plains of Chogoris, the Khan embodied speed, martial pride, and a fierce, untamed independence. He led his legion in lightning-fast assaults, preferring fluid maneuvers and hit-and-run tactics to entrenched warfare. During the Horus heresy, his cunning and unexpected brutality made him a crucial and unpredictable loyalist force. After the galaxy-shattering conflict, he pursued a Dark Eldar fleet into the treacherous webway, vanishing from Imperial records. His ultimate fate remains one of the Imperium's greatest mysteries, still sought by his loyal sons. The Wolf King, Leman Russ, Primarch of the Space Wolves. Discovered on the brutal icebound world of Fenris, where he was raised by wolves, Russ was a fearsome warrior, a boisterous and proud leader, renowned for his ferocity and loyalty. Often called the Emperor's executioner, he was sent to deliver swift justice to those who defied the imperial truth. His legion, the Space Wolves, embody his savage pride and shun the rigid doctrines of the Codex Astartes. Russ vanished into the Eye of Terror after the heresy, famously vowing to return at the Wolf Time, a grim prophecy of the Imperium's ultimate downfall when he will lead them one last time. Rogel Dorn, the Praetorian of Terra, Primarch of the Imperial Fists. Dorn was a master of fortifications, a meticulous planner, and fiercely loyal, known for his stoic demeanor, unwavering devotion to duty, and incredible resilience. He was the chief architect of the Imperial Palace's formidable defenses during the catastrophic Siege of Terra, enduring unimaginable horrors. He suffered greatly from the trauma and losses of the heresy, driven by a deep sense of responsibility. His ultimate fate is shrouded in mystery, with only his severed hand recovered from a final, heroic battle against a vast chaos fleet, a symbol of his enduring sacrifice. Conrad Kurz, the Night Haunter, Primarch of the Night Lords. Raised on the eternally dark, crime-ridden world of Nostromo, Kurze was cursed with chilling prophetic visions of death and suffering, which slowly drove him to madness. He ruled his adopted homeworld through terror and brutal summary justice, believing only fear could maintain order. His descent into insanity made him an unpredictable and sadistic force during the heresy. He ultimately allowed himself to be assassinated by an Imperial agent, foreseeing his own death and embracing it as his final, twisted act of grim justice against a world he saw as irredeemable. Sanguinius, the Angel, Primarch of the Blood Angels. Universally beloved and perhaps the most noble of all the Primarchs, Sanguinius was a paragon of virtue, unparalleled beauty, and martial prowess, often appearing angelic. Despite his seeming perfection, he carried a terrible secret, a psychic flaw within his gene seed, the red thirst, which drove his sons to a horrific bloodlust. He met his tragic and heroic end at the hands of War Master Horus during the Siege of Terra, dying to create a crucial vulnerability for the Emperor. His sacrifice still haunts his sons, who battle against the red thirst and black rage, dark echoes of his final moments. Ferrus Manus, the Gorgon, Primarch of the Iron Hands. With his hands sheathed in living liquid metal from birth, Ferrus was a master craftsman, an unrelenting perfectionist, and a pragmatist who abhorred weakness. He believed in strength through technology and self-improvement, often replacing organic parts with bionics. His pragmatic and unyielding nature made him a formidable commander. He was tragically slain by his corrupted brother Fulgrim during the horrific drop site massacre on Istvan V. His death a brutal turning point in the heresy, leaving his legion shattered and forever obsessed with mechanical augmentation and unyielding vengeance. Angren, the Red Angel, Primarch of the World Eaters. Discovered on Nuceria, a world where he was forced into brutal gladiator pits and implanted with the agonizing butcher's nails. Neural implants that constantly tormented him, fueling his rage. The Emperor's failure to save his adopted gladiator brothers further embittered him. He was one of the most violent and bloodthirsty Primarchs, quickly falling to Khorne, the blood god of rage and war, becoming a monstrous demon prince of unbridled, never-ending fury, who periodically erupts into the galaxy in a whirlwind of slaughter. Roboute Guilliman, the Avenging Sun, Primarch of the Ultramarines. Raised on the enlightened world of Macragge, Guilliman was a brilliant administrator, strategist, and statesman who authored the Codex Astartes, the foundational text for Space Marine organization post-heresy. He was mortally wounded after the heresy by Fulgrim, placed in stasis for millennia, and surprisingly resurrected in the 41st millennium. Now serving as the Lord Commander of the Imperium, Guilliman is a truly pivotal figure, single-handedly trying to reform and save humanity's crumbling, stagnant empire from inevitable collapse. Mortarion, the Pale King, Primarch of the Death Guard. Raised on a toxic, demon-infested world, Mortarion developed an immunity to poisons and a deep hatred for oppressing tyrants, especially psychers and sorcery. His stern, grim demeanor and desire for freedom from suffering ironically led him to Nurgle, the plague god, during the heresy. He became a grotesque demon prince of decay and despair, now constantly plagues the Imperium with his rotting legions, spreading disease and corruption wherever he treads. Magnus the Red, the Crimson King, Primarch of the Thousand Suns. A towering cyclopean psyker of unparalleled power and an insatiable seeker of forbidden knowledge, Magnus was devoted to understanding the warp. Despite his loyalty to the Emperor, his forbidden sorcery and a catastrophic psychic warning to the Emperor, which inadvertently broke the Emperor's Webway project, led to the Space Wolves attacking Prospero, his homeworld. Magnus reluctantly embraced Tzeentch, the Changer of Ways, becoming a towering demon prince of mutation and maddening intellect, forever plotting within the chaotic tides of the warp. Horus Lupercal, the War Master, Primarch of the Luna Wolves, later the Sons of Horus. Once the Emperor's most beloved son and chosen as War Master and heir, Horus was charismatic, brilliant, and seemingly infallible in battle. However, manipulated by the insidious whispers of chaos and the envy of his brothers, he was the first and greatest to fall. He orchestrated the entire heresy, leading 9 legions against the Emperor, becoming the ultimate antagonist. He was ultimately slain by the Emperor in their final, galaxy-shattering duel above Terra, though at a terrible cost. Lorgar Aurelian, the Urizen, Primarch of the Wordbearers. Lorgar was deeply spiritual and sought truth and divinity across the galaxy, believing in the Emperor as a living god. When the Emperor sternly rebuked his zealous worship and ordered his devout cities purged for worshiping him, Lorgar felt profoundly betrayed. This shattering disillusionment led him to turn to chaos, specifically chaos undivided, becoming the first Primarch to truly embrace the ruinous powers and systematically sow the seeds of heresy across the galaxy. He is a demon prince of chaos undivided, currently meditating on a demon world, but his insidious influence remains vast. Vulkan, the Lord of Drakes, Primarch of the Salamanders. Found on the volcanic world of Nocturne, Vulkan was unique among his brothers for his profound compassion for humanity, his deep empathy, and his extraordinary skill as a master artificer. He is a perpetual, meaning he can regenerate from even the most grievous wounds, suffering countless deaths during the heresy. Although seemingly lost after the heresy, his sons, the Salamanders, tirelessly search for his return, believing he will reappear when all 9 of his legendary artifacts, crafted by his own hand, are gathered. Corvus Corax, the Deliverer, Primarch of the Raven Guard. Raised as a slave and revolutionary on the brutal moon of Lycaeus, Corax became a master of stealth, guerrilla warfare, and lightning raids. He was grim and pragmatic, deeply affected by the atrocities of the heresy and the horrific corruption of his gene seed. After the heresy, tormented by his failures and the lingering darkness within his own legion, Corax entered the Eye of Terror, hunting traitor Primarchs. His form reportedly mutated into a shadowy, avenging entity, a literal embodiment of justice within the very warp he battles. Alpharius Omegon, the Hydra, Primarchs of the Alpha Legion. Uniquely, the Alpha Legion was led by twin Primarchs, Alpharius and Omegon, often indistinguishable even to their own legionnaires. They specialized in subterfuge, deception, and convoluted, multi-layered plans, always operating from the shadows within shadows. Their true loyalties remain ambiguous to this day. Some believe they secretly served the Emperor, while others contend they were always agents of chaos, playing an even longer game. Alpharius is confirmed dead, slain by Rogel Dorn, but Omegon's fate is perpetually unknown, fueling endless theories and intrigue within the lore. And finally, the 2 lost Primarchs. Their legions were utterly purged, their names expunged from all imperial records, their very existence a forbidden secret. We know nothing of their names, their legions, or their fates, only that they existed and somehow became a forbidden topic even before the Horus heresy. They represent the darkest secrets of the Emperor, a grim reminder of actions taken and truths buried deep in the grim darkness of the far future. And there you have it, the 20 Primarchs, sons of the Emperor, each a legend in their own right, a colossal figure whose life and choices shape the destiny of an entire galaxy. From the unwavering loyalty of Guilliman and the Lion, who actively fight in the 41st millennium, to the tragic end of Sanguinius and Pharasmanes, and the monstrous demonhood of Horus and his traitorous brothers, their stories are the very bedrock of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Their personal conflicts, their monumental triumphs, and their catastrophic failures are the reason the Imperium of Man finds itself in the grim darkness of the far future. Whether they stand as beacons of desperate hope or towering symbols of eternal damnation, the Primarchs remain the most compelling and powerful figures in Warhammer lore, their legacies echoing across a galaxy forever scarred by their actions. Which Primarch saga resonates most with you? Who is your favorite son of the Emperor? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this deep dive into their lore as epic as we did, Smash that like button, subscribe for more Warhammer content, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Until next time, true believers, for the Emperor.